Hello everybody, welcome to Marcelian Online. I am Flame and I am going to be bringing you today, you guessed it, the Prot Warrior Mage Tower Challenge Guide. Now we really appreciate your support, guys, and if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button, and for the actual subscribe, click the bell thingy so you can get our notifications for all of our WoW videos for PvE and PvP as well. And without further ado, let's hop right in. Alright, now taking a look at the talents really quick, what we have here is Sorm Bolt at level 1, we have Impending Victory at tier 2, Avatar at tier 3, Bounding Stride at tier 4, Devastator at tier 5, Booming Voice. I do have the ring, so if you don't have the ring, take Booming Voice, and Heavy Repercussions as the last tier. Now, in terms of gear, pretty much no matter what you have, I'm 926 item level because, and very important, you take Groundtooth Warhorn. This is what I did. It seems to give me a lot of damage, and of course, the higher your gear, the better this scales with that 10% extra damage. I've replaced a stamina trinket to equip this, so I didn't lose too much in strength because my trinkets are not that good anyway. But I do have the Soul of the Battlelord, which I think makes a decent difference, so you can weave in those revenges and ignore pains for maximizing the damage. And just a Prot chest that doesn't really seem to do too much since I didn't actually use Intercept on Velen to benefit from this. And this is pretty much it. Oh, in terms of food, Bear Tartar, very important. You need that movement speed in between killing things, so you can save as many charges as you can. Flasks, I would recommend flasks. Runes as well, and of course, Potion of Prolonged Power and drums as well. They help boost your damage by a lot. Now, without further ado, let's actually hop into the encounter. Before starting off the battle, I will need to point out that you might need a useful macro for Sorm Bolt, and that is the focus target macro, so you can hit Varys while him being your target focus, even if you're not actually targeting him. This makes it easier to stun him when he casts Drain Life. I'll leave the macro in the description below. Now, before the fight starts, of course, you will need to eat up, put the flask on, and just before entering combat, pop that potion if you have it, and those drums so you can have them again in the second phase, and just start hammering Varys down. As soon as you start the battle, you will notice that Varys has an aura of decay underneath his feet that will put a debuff on you that stacks up. Each stack takes 10% of your total HP away. It doesn't deal damage, but it will make it harder for you to tank all of the stuff. So keep your stack count to 3, maximum of 4, but I would recommend 3. The first ad that you will need to take care of is the Tormenting Eye, which will cast a channeled spell at you that won't deal damage but will knock you away if you're not facing him, so either kill it really fast or face him at the end of the cast. Every now and again, Varys will cast Drain Life, which you will need to interrupt either with Sorm Bolt, so make sure it's not on cooldown, or with Pummel. This will heal him up and kill Velen in the process, so you don't want this to go on. The second ad type that you will need to be dealing with are Nether Horrors, which they will spawn in groups of 4s and aggro Velen immediately, so you will need to pick them up. Simply hitting one of them will aggro all of them, so just kill them as quickly as possible, because when they hit you, they debuff you, so you take more arcane damage, so you don't want them to be alive for too long. The last type of ad that you will be dealing with will be the Smoldering Infernals. Now, you don't need to kill them, they will die on their own every time they do their AoE thing. The AoE aura around them will damage you and slow you by a lot, so you don't want to stay next to them, you want to kite them. But you want to dodge their Smash ability as well, because their Smash will knock you off the platform. Now, every now and again, you might see yourself in an oh shit situation, which you can mitigate by taking one of the globes that Velen spawns. The globes will interrupt Varys, it will disorientate everybody else, and it will heal you to full HP. This is very good. Don't use them all, just keep one always as a backup, and you should be fine during the encounter. And this is pretty much the first phase of the encounter. What I would recommend, a couple of tips. Whenever you are low on HP, you can kill an eye and get that Impending Victory proc, so you can heal up. Always use them, it helps you a lot. If you find yourself at low HP and you have more than 3 stacks of Decaying Aura, you can also use Spell Reflect to mitigate one cast of Mind Rend from Varys. that will reduce its spell damage, because Spell Reflect also reduces magic damage that you receive, so that's also very good. Try to keep as many adds dead as possible. Whenever you end up the first phase with Varus being killed, you want to have as few Infernals as you can going into the second phase, because they will remain there. Even if you kill Varus, their Infernals will remain there and will make it a little bit harder for you. One other tip that I could recommend is if you're getting knocked off the platform, if you're quick enough, you might be able to charge back in, so that you can remain in combat and, you know, not lose the encounter. It doesn't always work, so don't rely on that. Just keep dodging the smashes. And make sure that you kill Varus, but you don't use your cooldowns going into phase 3. You want to keep those cooldowns for phase 3 for when kruul drops, so that you can burst him down, since that's when the real fight begins. Now, when kruul drops, all of the adds will vanish except the Infernals and I think the Nether Aberration, so you won't have to deal with the eyes anymore. You will see those shadowy beams spamming across the battlefield. They don't deal damage, but they will push you back if you're not careful. To bypass them, simply jump over them. Kruul's first ability will be Nether Stomp. He jumps at your location, spawns a green pile of shit on the ground that will deal a lot of damage to you, and it will slow you by a lot. To make sure that you always dodge them properly is just kite kruul always, and whenever he jumps, you'll always end up at the edge of the circle so you don't take that much damage. Another important spell that kruul will cast is Twisted Reflection, and if he successfully casts this on you, he will get healed every time he damages you. And since you're a warrior, you're going to spell reflect this so that you get healed instead of kruul, because if kruul gets healed, you will lose the encounter. You won't have time to damage him anymore. The last thing kruul will do, and one of the most important things that you will need to mitigate, is Annihilate. As you can see, I already have a stack, but he keeps casting them. You will need to mitigate each one, because each Annihilate will deal increasing more damage to you, because you will get a debuff. You want to make sure that you don't pop all of your cooldowns just for one Annihilate, so make sure that you rotate them out. And I reckon most people can survive about 4 or 5 Annihilates until they die, so you need to kill kruul before that happens. For the rest of the fight, you will need to deal with the Nether Horrors as well, because they will go on Velen immediately, and you will need to individually pick them up because they won't aggro the same as in the first phase. Make sure that you also take the globes whenever you feel like you need to, because they will heal you up and they will disorient even kruul. They will stop his cast, whatever he will be casting at the time. It will make it basically easier for you. Now, this is pretty much the entire fight for the second phase. Make sure you kill the adds as soon as possible. Keep kiting kruul. Mitigate the Annihilates, make sure you don't get hit by smashes, and if you do, charge in immediately so you don't get knocked off the platform. And pop all of your offensive cooldowns. Bring kruul down as fast as possible, because if he ends up casting more than 4 Annihilates on you, you will probably die, and you don't want that to happen. And hope this is helpful for you guys. This has helped me get the achievements really nicely. Make sure that you also have the Ground-Tooth Warhorn heirloom, like I mentioned. It really helps you out with the extra damage against demons. I hope the guide helps you get the Prot aspect as well, the appearance for the artifact, and if you thought this was useful and if it helped you even a little bit, please give us a like. Subscribe for more of these kinds of videos, especially PvP and PvE oriented videos. We bring them up daily from Monday to Friday, and enable those bell notifications, otherwise you might miss some important content. But until next time guys, peace!